The stars were calm that night, peaceful like they had been for millions of years. But the calm was broken when the first alien ships appeared at the edge of the galaxy. They came silently, fast, and massive. Their black hulls reflected the distant suns, but no light shone from them. The fleet moved like a single living thing, unstoppable and terrifying. Every world they touched fell in days, its people crushed, its cities burned, and its technology stolen. No one had survived to tell the story, and the galaxy trembled at the thought of what might come next. On Earth, people were unaware at first. Life continued normally, children played in parks, ships traveled through space, and governments argued over minor disputes. But then the signals arrived. Scouts from the outer colonies sent desperate messages. They are coming. They are everywhere. We cannot stop them. Panic spread across the news networks, and fear gripped every corner of the planet. Governments held emergency meetings. Military commanders argued. Scientists warned that humanity had never faced anything like this before. And in the middle of it all, a single ship prepared for launch. The ship was small, sleek, and named Aurora. It was not built to fight large fleets. Its weapons were weaker than the alien guns, and its shields could not hold against the enemy's firepower. But what it lacked in size, it made up for in speed, clever design, and the humans who would command it. The crew was young, untested in real combat, and yet determined. They trained relentlessly for months, running simulations, studying alien patterns, and preparing for a mission no one believed could succeed. Captain Elias stared at the bridge screens, his eyes dark with concentration. He had led many simulations, many tests, but now it was real. The alien fleet was on a direct path to Earth, and the Aurora was humanity's only hope to slow them down. "We have one chance," he said softly to his crew. "One chance to show them that humans are not weak. One chance to make a difference." The crew nodded, a mixture of fear and determination in their eyes. The engines hummed as the Aurora powered up. Its stealth systems engaged, designed to hide the ship from alien sensors. The crew felt a mix of excitement and terror. For some, this was the first time leaving Earth. For others, it was the first time facing true death. Outside, stars blurred as the ship entered hyperspace, jumping across light years in minutes. The galaxy passed by in a streak of color, beautiful and meaningless compared to the destruction waiting for them. When the Aurora exited hyperspace, the fleet was there. Hundreds of ships stretched across the dark void, larger than any human imagination could hold. They moved with precision, scanning the space around them. Elias's crew held their breath. Even the youngest cadets knew the odds were almost impossible. The alien fleet had never been challenged, never been scared, and never lost. And yet, here they were, one small human ship staring directly at them. The sensors beeped suddenly. An alien scout ship had detected them. It moved fast, glinting like a shard of metal, heading straight for the Aurora. The alarm sounded, and the bridge exploded with energy. Crew members shouted commands, hands flew over consoles, and Elias made decisions that could not be reversed. The Aurora dodged the first shots, but it was clear the ship could not outrun the alien for long. They needed a plan. Lieutenant Mara, the tactical officer, suggested a maneuver that had never been tested in real combat. "We can use the asteroid field near the system," she said. "We can draw them in, slow them down, and strike at their engines. It's risky, but it's the only way." Elias considered it, weighing every risk. The crew trusted her instincts. "Do it," he said. "All or nothing." The Aurora darted toward the asteroid field. The alien scout followed, and the fleet behind it adjusted course. The ship moved like a shadow, weaving between massive rocks, using their gravity to push and pull, confusing the alien sensors. And then, they struck. Aurora fired a small but precise energy pulse at the scout's engines. The pulse hit perfectly, causing the ship to spin uncontrollably. The scout collided with an asteroid and exploded in a flash of fire that lit the darkness. The crew cheered, but the celebration was short. The alien fleet had noticed. From the darkness, massive cruisers emerged, moving faster than the Aurora could track. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched. But something had changed. The aliens were cautious now. They had never expected humans to fight back, to think beyond simple attack and defense. The galaxy had assumed humanity would fall like every other species. But the Aurora had shown that humans were clever, unpredictable, and dangerous in ways the aliens had never seen. Captain Elias looked at the stars, then at his crew. "This is only the beginning," he said. "We may be small, but we are not weak. And we will not give up." The ship powered up its engines and moved deeper into the alien fleet, ready for whatever came next. For the first time, humanity had hope. The screen faded to black, leaving the galaxy watching and wondering. Could one human ship really make a difference? Or was it just a spark in the dark, soon to be crushed by an unstoppable force? Aurora drifted quietly in the shadow of the asteroid field. But the calm would not last. The alien fleet had realized the humans were not afraid. Hundreds of massive ships now turned toward Aurora, their engines glowing like cold stars, and their weapons locked on the small human ship. The bridge hummed with tension as alarms sounded continuously, warning of incoming enemy fire. The crew gripped their consoles, eyes wide, hearts racing. Every second counted. Lieutenant Mara scanned the enemy ships. "They're coordinating now," she said. "All cruisers are moving in formation. If they surround us, there is no escape." Captain Elias's jaw tightened. They were vastly outnumbered, but retreat was not an option. The fleet had already seen them, and turning back would only invite pursuit. "Prepare the weapons," he said calmly, though inside he felt the weight of the universe pressing down on them. "We fight smart, not strong." Aurora launched a series of decoy drones. They flickered across space like tiny stars, drawing fire from the nearest cruisers. Explosions bloomed around the human ship, shaking the hull. The crew ducked, bracing for impact, but the ship held. Aurora's small size made it hard to hit, and the crew used every maneuver they had trained for. Yet each second felt like an hour, and each blast reminded them of how fragile they really were. The first direct attack came from a cruiser twice the size of Aurora. Energy beams tore through the darkness, missing by mere meters. Lieutenant Mara found an opening. "We can use the gravity of that asteroid to slingshot around and hit their engines," she said, pointing to the tactical map. The crew moved with precision. The ship twisted and turned around the asteroid, drawing closer to the alien cruiser than anyone thought possible. Then came the strike. Aurora fired a concentrated pulse aimed directly at the alien ship's engines. The energy hit perfectly, and the cruiser shuddered violently before spinning out of control. Its crew screamed across comm channels, but the sound never reached the humans. The explosion lit up space, reflecting off Aurora's hull. The crew cheered, but only for a moment. More cruisers were coming, and the fleet had already begun to adjust, scanning for any other human tricks. Captain Elias realized that brute force would never win this battle. The aliens had more ships, bigger weapons, and faster shields. But humans had one thing they had not counted on: creativity and unpredictability. The crew had to think faster, move faster, and strike smarter. "We can't just fight them," he said. "We have to outthink them. We have to make them doubt themselves." Aurora maneuvered deeper into the fleet, ducking between ships and hiding in the shadows of massive alien cruisers. Sensors picked up energy pulses from the fleet's central command ship, a massive vessel surrounded by smaller ships. Elias had an idea. "If we can disable their command ship, the rest of the fleet might falter," he said. His crew nodded, understanding the danger. The distance was huge, and the defenses were stronger than anything they had ever faced. But this was their only chance. As Aurora approached the command ship, alarms blared across the bridge. Hundreds of enemy fighters launched from the cruisers, swarming toward the human ship like a cloud of deadly insects. Aurora dodged and weaved, small but fast, while the crew fired back with every weapon they had. Every hit counted, and every miss could be fatal. Mara shouted, "Their shields are strong, but there's a gap near the engines." Captain Elias made a split-second decision. "Fire everything at that gap. Now." The pulse hit true. Sparks and fire exploded across the alien command ship. Its engines faltered, and alarms screamed across its hull. Confusion rippled through the fleet. Smaller cruisers slowed, unsure of what to do. The humans had struck fear into the invincible alien force. For the first time, the fleet hesitated. Aurora zoomed away, using the chaos to escape further into the asteroid field. The crew leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it," whispered Mara. "We actually did it." Elias looked at the stars, knowing the fight had only just begun. "This is just the start," he said. "We've shown them that humans are not easy prey. They will come back, and it will be worse. But we will be ready." Outside, the alien fleet regrouped, confused and wary. They had never faced a race like humans before, one that could think, adapt, and strike in ways they could not predict. Aurora disappeared into the dark void, leaving behind a trail of hope for humanity and fear for the galaxy's most feared conquerors. The war was far from over, but one small human ship had changed everything. Aurora floated silently in the dark space beyond the alien fleet. The crew was tense but alert. The first battle had been won, but Captain Elias knew it was only the beginning. The aliens were cautious now, but they were not defeated. Every crew member on the bridge stared at the blinking sensors, trying to read the enemy's next move. Lieutenant Mara studied the data streaming across her console. "Their shields are strong, and their weapons are deadly," she said. "But their movements are predictable. They follow patterns, and if we can understand those patterns, we can exploit them." Captain Elias nodded. Humans had never faced such overwhelming force before, but that did not mean they could not outthink it. The Aurora was small, fast, and clever. It could do what the massive fleet could not: adapt in real time. The crew spent hours analyzing alien communications and flight patterns. They watched recordings of the fleet's attacks, noting every hesitation, every predictable maneuver. They discovered something remarkable. The alien ships relied on a central command network. Each ship could communicate with the others instantly, coordinating attacks perfectly. But if that network was disrupted, the entire fleet could become confused and chaotic. "That network is their weakness," Elias said. "If we can disrupt it, even briefly, we can create an opening. We can make them hesitate, make them make mistakes." The crew leaned in, absorbing every word. The idea was dangerous, almost suicidal, but it was the only chance humanity had. As they plotted their next move, a small alien scout appeared on the sensors. Its ship glowed with deadly light as it moved closer. "They've noticed us again," said Mara. "They are sending a warning, trying to scare us." Captain Elias studied the scout. It was fast, armed, and relentless, but the crew had learned from the first encounter. They could use clever maneuvers, tricks the aliens would not expect. Aurora moved like a shadow, dodging the scout's shots while sending decoy signals. The alien ship fired repeatedly, but the human crew stayed one step ahead. Every time the scout adjusted, Aurora adjusted. It was a dangerous dance across space, but the humans were learning faster than the aliens expected. Finally, with a precise burst of energy, the scout's engines faltered, and it drifted uselessly into the void. Another small victory, but it sent a message to the fleet: humans were not predictable, humans could fight back. That night, as the crew rested in shifts, Captain Elias walked alone on the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly around them, beautiful and cold. He thought of the billions of lives depending on this small ship. The humans were fragile, almost insignificant compared to the alien armada. And yet, for the first time, he felt hope. Humans had something the aliens did not understand: courage, imagination, and the ability to think in ways no machine or weapon could predict. The next day, the crew prepared for a daring plan. They would move closer to the center of the alien fleet, studying the command ship and mapping every connection in its network. Every sensor reading, every weak point in the defenses, every predictable pattern had to be noted. "This will be dangerous," Mara said quietly. "If they detect us fully, we will be destroyed." Elias smiled faintly. Then we have to be cleverer than they think. Humans survive not because we are strong, but because we are unpredictable. Aurora drifted closer to the fleet, staying in the shadows of massive cruisers. The alien command ship glowed in the distance, surrounded by smaller vessels. Sensors picked up thousands of signals, each one part of the network that controlled the fleet. Elias and Mara studied the patterns, tracing the connections, noting every weakness. Hours turned into days, and each discovery brought a mix of fear and excitement. They could do this. They could find the flaw that would allow humanity to strike back. As the crew worked, strange things began to happen in the alien fleet. Ships that should have been perfectly coordinated made small mistakes, turning slightly too late, firing at empty space, hesitating for just a moment. The humans watched carefully, recording every anomaly. These tiny errors could become enormous advantages. The aliens were strong, terrifying, and efficient, but they were not perfect. And humans could exploit that. By the time Aurora finally moved back to a safe distance, the crew had a plan forming. They knew exactly how they could disrupt the alien network and create confusion in the fleet. It was risky, yes, but it was a risk with the potential to change everything. Captain Elias looked at his crew, his eyes firm with determination. Tomorrow, he said, we show them what humans are really capable of. Outside, the alien fleet shimmered in the void, still powerful, still dangerous. But for the first time, the invincible conquerors of the galaxy were uncertain. A small human ship had learned their patterns, studied their weaknesses, and discovered their flaw. The galaxy watched, unknowingly holding its breath. Humanity had begun to fight back, not with raw power, but with intelligence, courage, and a stubborn refusal to surrender. Aurora moved silently through the dark expanse of space, its hull reflecting distant stars. The crew had spent days studying the alien fleet, mapping every ship, every connection, and every weak point. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, watching the massive alien command ship glow in the distance. The time had come. They would strike. Lieutenant Mara checked the tactical screens. All systems ready. The path to the command ship is clear for now, she said. Every crew member was tense but focused. They had practiced this plan countless times in simulations, but now it was real. Any mistake could mean destruction. Yet the humans felt something they had never felt before. Confidence born from preparation and the knowledge that they were unpredictable to the enemy. The Aurora darted forward, using asteroids and debris to hide from alien sensors. For a moment, the fleet seemed calm, unaware of the human ship moving through the shadows. Then the first warning arrived. The command ship sensors detected them, and a wave of smaller cruisers accelerated toward Aurora. The bridge erupted with alarms, but Elias kept calm. Focus on the plan. Stick to the pattern. We are faster than they expect. The first wave of enemy ships fired energy beams, but Aurora twisted and turned, small and agile. The crew's hands moved quickly over the controls, dodging shots, sending decoys, and calculating trajectories. Every move was precise. Every second counted. Then Mara spotted an opening. The shields are weaker at the rear engines, she shouted. Elias nodded. Target them. Concentrate fire. Aurora's weapons fired with careful precision. Energy pulses struck the alien command ship's engines, causing sparks and explosions across its hull. The massive ship shuddered and slowed. Smaller cruisers hesitated, unsure how to respond. Confusion rippled through the alien fleet. For the first time, the invincible command ship was vulnerable. But the victory was only partial. A squadron of alien fighters broke through, heading straight for Aurora. The crew braced. Lasers tore through space, and Aurora darted between them. The ship shook from the impacts, and alarms blared. Mara's voice cut through the chaos. We can't take them all head-on. We have to use their own formation against them. Elias's mind raced. He realized they could make the alien ships collide if they manipulated their flight paths just right. With quick thinking and precise calculations, Aurora sent signals that mimicked fleet commands. The alien ships turned suddenly, misreading the signals, and several collided with each other. Explosions lit up the darkness as chaos spread through the fleet. The humans cheered quietly, knowing this was the first real victory against an enemy that had crushed every civilization in its path. But the mission was not over. The command ship still controlled the fleet. Elias knew they had to push further. Aurora approached the damaged ship, using its speed and clever maneuvers to stay just out of range of the main guns. The crew fired again at the engines, repeating the strike with perfect timing. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and the command ship shuddered violently. The massive vessel was losing control. For the first time, the alien fleet was unsure. The smaller ships faltered, their attacks slowed, their formation broken. Humans had proven they could strike where no one expected, and the invincible aliens were hesitant. Captain Elias looked at his crew, pride and determination in his eyes. "This is what I wanted you to see," he said. "Brains over brawn. Cleverness over strength. Humans can fight, and we can win." Aurora slipped back into the shadows, leaving the alien fleet in disarray. The crew leaned back in their chairs, exhausted but exhilarated. They had done what no one thought possible. One small human ship had struck fear into an enemy that had destroyed countless civilizations. For the first time, humanity had hope. Outside, the alien fleet regrouped, confused and shaken. They had underestimated the humans, a mistake they would not soon forget. Aurora drifted through space, a small ship in a vast galaxy, but its crew knew something important. They had changed the balance of power. They had proven that humans could be unpredictable, clever, and courageous in ways that even the most advanced alien technology could not foresee. Captain Elias stood on the observation deck, staring at the distant command ship. "We have shown them we are not weak," he said softly. "But the war is far from over. They will come back, stronger and smarter. We must be ready." The stars stretched endlessly before him, cold and distant, yet full of possibility. Humanity had begun its fight, and this fight had just begun. Aurora drifted through space, its hull scarred from the recent battle, but its crew was filled with a sense of cautious triumph. News of their daring strike had already begun to spread across the galaxy. For the first time, stories of humans fighting back against the unstoppable alien fleet reached distant colonies. Whispers of hope and disbelief filled communication channels. If a single human ship could challenge the fleet, perhaps humanity was not as weak as everyone had feared. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, watching the stars. "We've made them pause," he said quietly. "That pause is all we need. But it won't last long. They will come back, stronger than before." His words weighed heavily. The alien fleet was powerful, relentless, and patient. They had never been defeated. And yet, humans had done the impossible. That realization brought both hope and fear. Lieutenant Mara studied incoming signals. "They're regrouping," she said. "I think they're planning a full-scale attack on Earth. If we don't act quickly, billions of lives are at risk." Elias nodded. The battle was no longer just about Aurora. It was about the survival of humanity itself. The small ship had shown the galaxy that humans were dangerous, but the aliens would not forget this lesson. The crew began preparing a new plan. They would need more than speed and cleverness this time. They had to use the knowledge they had gained about the alien command network to strike a decisive blow. Mara pointed to a cluster of signals on the tactical map. "The command ship still coordinates the fleet through this network. If we can disrupt it, we can cause massive confusion." Elias considered it. The plan was risky. If it failed, the Aurora would be destroyed, and humanity might lose its only hope. But the risk was necessary. Aurora moved carefully, staying hidden among asteroid fields and space debris. Sensors scanned the alien fleet, noting the patterns in the ship's movements. Even as the humans studied them, the aliens adjusted, trying to anticipate human tactics. But the crew had learned one important lesson. Humans could think differently, improvise, and act in ways the aliens could not predict. That unpredictability was their greatest weapon. The tension on the bridge was almost unbearable. Every sensor ping, every energy reading, every blip of movement could signal danger. Mara's hands flew over the console as she calculated angles, trajectories, and timing. The crew held their breath. They knew that one mistake could mean death, but one correct move could change the course of the war. As Aurora approached the heart of the alien fleet, the first signs of hesitation appeared. Several cruisers slowed, their patterns breaking ever so slightly. It was a tiny mistake, but the humans recognized its significance. The command network was beginning to falter under their subtle probes and deceptive signals. The aliens had never faced an enemy who could think in real time, adapt instantly, and exploit their smallest errors. Captain Elias smiled faintly. "This is it," he said. "This is the moment we show them what humans are capable of." Mara nodded, her eyes focused and determined. The ship's weapons hummed, shields pulsed, and Aurora prepared to strike at the core of the fleet's power. For the first time, the humans had a plan that could truly change the battle. Outside, the alien fleet shimmered like a dark storm, vast and powerful. But for the first time, that storm showed signs of uncertainty. Ships slowed, turned unexpectedly, and hesitated in their attacks. Aurora slipped through the gaps, sending precise signals and feints. Each move created more confusion. The humans were not just surviving, they were taking control of the battlefield. And yet, Captain Elias knew this was only the beginning. The aliens would retaliate, and when they did, the cost would be high. But for now, hope had returned to humanity. The small ship that had been dismissed as insignificant had shown that courage, intelligence, and determination could challenge even the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Aurora and its crew had become a symbol, a spark of resistance that would inspire billions. As the ship moved back to a safe distance, the crew allowed themselves a brief moment of relief. They had struck fear into the invincible fleet, disrupted their patterns, and discovered a critical advantage. But the war was far from over. The aliens would adapt, and the humans would need every bit of ingenuity and courage to survive. Captain Elias looked at the stars once more. "We've won today," he said. "Tomorrow, we fight again. And we will not back down." The galaxy watched silently, unaware that a small human ship had begun to change everything. The battle was no longer just about survival. It was about proving that humanity could stand against the strongest force in the universe. And for the first time, there was a chance that humans could win. Aurora drifted into the heart of the alien fleet, small and fast against the vast armada. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the tactical screens. The fleet was enormous, hundreds of ships moving like a single organism, but the humans had discovered a secret, a weakness in the alien command network. If they could exploit it, they could turn the fleet's own strength against it. Lieutenant Mara checked the calculations again. "The timing has to be perfect," she said. "One wrong move, and we're finished. But if we succeed, we can create chaos through the entire fleet." Elias nodded. The plan was dangerous, nearly suicidal, but there was no other way. Humanity could not fight these aliens with raw force. They had to outthink them. Aurora accelerated, weaving between massive cruisers and firing decoys to confuse the enemy. The alien ships detected the human ship immediately, and the first volleys of energy beams came crashing toward them. Aurora dodged with skill, twisting and spinning through the dark void. Each shot missed by mere meters, and the crew worked together, moving as one, their coordination precise. The human ship reached the critical point, the center of the fleet where the command signals were strongest. Mara began sending precise hacking pulses into the alien network, mimicking commands from the central ship. Instantly, confusion rippled through the armada. Ships slowed, turned in wrong directions, and collided with each other. The fleet, once perfect and unstoppable, was suddenly chaotic. Captain Elias smiled faintly. "They've never seen this coming," he said. "Humans fight differently. We adapt, we improvise, and we never give up." The crew held their breath as the pulses continued, spreading disruption through the alien network. Smaller ships fired blindly, attacking their own formations. Energy beams crossed paths, explosions lit the darkness, and the fleet became a storm of chaos. but the command ship still threatened them. Its weapons powered up, ready to destroy Aurora. Elias made a quick decision. We hit the engines again. All weapons, fire. The concentrated pulse struck the alien command ship's engines, causing massive sparks and explosions. The ship shuddered, then began spinning out of control. Without its command, the rest of the fleet faltered even more. Aurora darted through the chaos, small and nimble, while the fleet destroyed itself around them. The humans had turned the aliens' strength into a trap. For the first time, a single human ship had made an invincible fleet vulnerable. Mara's voice trembled with excitement. "We're doing it. They're falling apart." Captain Elias knew the danger was not over. The aliens would adapt if given time. But for now, humanity had won a decisive victory. The alien fleet, once feared across the galaxy, was broken, confused, and retreating. Aurora had proven that courage, intelligence, and determination could overcome even the most powerful enemy. The crew allowed themselves a brief moment of relief, looking at the destruction they had caused. It was not glory, they knew war was far from over, but it was proof. Humans were not weak. Humans could fight back. Humans could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Elias stood on the observation deck, staring at the retreating alien ships. "We've shown them that humanity is not to be underestimated," he said softly. "But this is only the beginning. We must remain vigilant. The galaxy is vast, and new threats will come. But today, we have won." Aurora slipped into the shadows, small but victorious, leaving behind a fleet that would never forget the humans who had dared to fight back. Across the galaxy, whispers spread of a species that refused to surrender. The war was far from over, but one small ship had changed everything. Humanity had proved its strength, not in weapons, but in courage, ingenuity, and the relentless refusal to give up. The stars stretched endlessly around them, beautiful, cold, and full of possibility. And as Aurora moved forward, the crew knew one truth above all: humans would fight, humans would survive, and humans would shape the future of the galaxy. The alien fleet retreated into the darkness of space, scattered and broken. For the first time, the galaxy saw that the invincible conquerors could be challenged. Aurora floated quietly among the stars, small and scarred, but victorious. The crew had fought beyond their limits, using intelligence, courage, and determination to change the course of the war. Captain Elias stood on the bridge, watching the last of the alien ships disappear. "We've done something no one thought possible," he said. His voice was calm, but the weight of the achievement hung in the air. Humans had survived, humans had fought back, and humans had won a decisive victory. But the war was not over. Elias knew that more challenges would come, more threats, and more battles. Yet for the first time, there was hope. Across human colonies, news spread like wildfire. The small human ship that had dared to face the alien fleet became a symbol of hope and courage. Billions of lives were inspired by the bravery of the Aurora's crew. Humanity realized that even against overwhelming odds, they could survive and even triumph. They had learned that strength was not only in weapons, but in creativity, teamwork, and the will to fight. The crew of Aurora allowed themselves a brief moment of rest. Their ship was battered, and their bodies were tired, but their spirits were alive. Lieutenant Mara smiled quietly. "We actually did it," she said. "We changed everything." Captain Elias nodded. "We showed the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. But we must stay vigilant. This is just the beginning." As they repaired the ship and prepared for the future, a sense of unity and determination grew among the crew. They had faced the strongest force in the galaxy and survived. They had proven that humans could think, adapt, and fight in ways no alien could predict. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as victims, but as a force to be reckoned with. Aurora set course for Earth, carrying news of their victory and a warning that vigilance was necessary. The stars stretched endlessly around them, beautiful, cold, and full of mystery. Somewhere in the darkness, other civilizations were watching, learning from the humans who had dared to fight back. The galaxy had changed, and humans had changed with it. Captain Elias walked alone on the observation deck, staring at the endless void. He knew more challenges would come, but he also knew one truth: humans would face them. They would survive. They would fight. And they would leave their mark on the stars. Aurora and its crew had shown what it meant to be human. Courage, intelligence, and the refusal to surrender were their greatest weapons. As the ship moved forward, leaving the remnants of the alien fleet behind, the galaxy whispered of a small human ship that had dared to defy the impossible. Aurora had not only survived, it had inspired hope, proved humanity's strength, and opened a new chapter in the story of the stars. And somewhere, beyond the darkness, new adventures waited. The war was not over, but one thing was certain: humans had shown the universe that they could fight, and that fight would echo across the stars forever.